Arsenal Fan TV here. Just finished watching the England game. It's an international break, and I'm here chilling with Mo at Mo's house. Actually, listen, this guy's a real Arsenal nut. I tell you. Look, check this out. All his books. Dennis Bergkamp book. You finished reading this yet?
No, I haven't even started actually.
I'm not surprised. You've got so many books. Book on Herbert Chapman. He's been checking out on his history. Another Bergkamp book. We live in a Perry Groves world. Forget that one. Anyway, listen. Here chilling with Mo, and I thought I'd catch up with you. And the other day I did an interview with Bully, and we were talking about the season so far. And what I wanted to talk about was now that the international break has finished, and well done to Per Mertesacker. You know, I mean, it's sad that it's a defeat for England, but good to see the big German. Turning up there with a big header in that game.
Giving the English lads a bit of stick, won't he?
He will be giving them a lot of banter back. But we get back into the thick of the games now. Southampton on Saturday, and then the games start coming thick and fast. Marseille in the Champions League, that's a massive game.
Yeah.
I mean, every game is big. We're top of the table. We want to maintain that. And what I thought I'd do is just like have a chat with Mo, talking about, say, from now till Christmas, because there's some tough games between now and Christmas. And how are you feeling about it? How are you feeling we can get on between now and Christmas? Because we got Manchester City before Christmas away. We got Chelsea before Christmas.
And just before that City game, 3 days before, we've got Napoli away. So
Napoli away.
It's hard with that European
So lots of games coming up. Yeah. How are you feeling? Can we maintain this good start we've had to the season? Or is it going to be like what they're saying? Oh, we're going to run into the big teams and we're going to start faltering. What's your opinion?
I don't know. I think, like, you know, we're a third of the season through now, so we've gone long enough to actually say that the league table, you can take a bit of kind of substance off it, you know, and actually mean something. So I think we have proved ourselves that we can do it. We're in there with a shot. But I've said from after the transfer window shut that our season depends on lady luck this year. You know, with injuries and all that. And I think in about 34 days in December, we've got 12 games, spanning that Christmas, New Year period. And it all depends on that for me. You know, if our squad stays fit and healthy, no injuries, then we're fine. But then we know where our weakness lies. If we get one injury up front, and that's it. Then I think, you know, we'll start slipping down the table. And I think, you know, we saw against Chelsea what our backup is. And well, you know, let's face it, it's not great, is it? So
we'll come to the transfer window, because that'll kick in obviously after December, January transfer window. I'll chat to you about that later. But talking about injuries, we've got a lot of players coming back. Theo Walcott's going to be coming back.
I cannot wait to have him back.
Podolski's coming back. It's been still a bit of a setback for Oxlade-Chamberlain. But vital players coming back into the team.
Definitely,
now, will that help us push on? I mean, the striker position, Podolski. Coming back.
Do you know what? For me, the biggest one to come back is Walcott, because, you know, any Arsenal fan that's watched the games with a bit of an analytical eye recently has seen that width and pace that we're lacking, and because of that, you know, it affects the whole shape. It affects the opposition's defensive makeup as well. We don't get as much space in midfield because they can afford to play with a higher line, and when Walcott comes back, they're scared of that pace, and he knows how to time a run. He knows how to get in behind. So. He will change the defensive lineup that we're facing, and they'll be further down the pitch. That will give Ozil, Cazorla so much more space and time on the ball. So it's absolutely huge to have him back, and I just cannot wait to have him back. You know, for all the fans that have slated him in the past, I think, you know, the last few games, even though we've done all right, we've really felt his absence. And then with Poley coming back as well, you know, another bonus, because he can be that second choice up front, you know, him or Theo, and that takes a bit of pressure off Giroud. He doesn't have to play every single minute of every single game, because, you know, right now it's burnout for him, and you know, I think it has been a bit noticeable in the last few games that he's not at the levels that he was at the start of the season, and it's understandable, because he's the sort of player, well, he will go for absolutely everything on that pitch. He leaves nothing behind, and that's why we love him. That's why we sing his name every single time we're at the ground. So he does need a bit of a rest and needs a bit of a rotation every now and then.
Do you think that it's a good thing? I mean, we've just been watching some of the games in the international break, and France, who are in real danger of going out. They've made it through. That's a great result for them. 3-0 beating Ukraine, so they're through to the World Cup is that going to be good for the Arsenal players? You know, Bakary Sagnas and Koscielny,
Definitely, yeah.
and Giroud. The fact that now France are going to be going to the World Cup, that will relax them and that will make them be on a high again.
Without a doubt, and not only that, you know, they're going to be playing for a spot in that 23-man squad that goes out to the World Cup. So, you know, they're not, you know, Giroud and Sagna were both on the bench today. So it's not like they're guaranteed to go. And now that they know that they're there, that carrot is there for them. So they're really going to be working to get into that squad. For us, with the France game, it was the best of both worlds, because they'll be on a high, they'll have that confidence, yet they didn't play too much of the game. They both came on late as subs, and Koscielny didn't play at all. So that's a win-win for us. You know, they get the buzz, they get the confidence, but, you know, they didn't get injured, they're not too fatigued, so that worked out perfectly for us.
And the two players you mentioned as well, just before that, Podolski and Theo Walcott, both of them got lots of goals in them, and that's going to be vital as well to help out.
Yeah,
with, you know, because it's really been Giroud and Ramsey been getting all the goals for us this season.
Yeah, if you look at Walcott's stats as well, a lot of the goals he scores are actually important goals. We're in the first 15 minutes of a game, and that's something that I feel like it gets overlooked, you know, in terms of what he brings to us. So I can't wait to have him back. You know, he makes such a massive difference, and again, it will just allow our squad to be a bit more kind of fresh when they're playing, because there's going to be not be as much burden on certain players. You know, Ozil's kind of come off a little bit, and you know, sometimes when it's not working out, we can go to the plan B, and Walcott really brings that plan B to the team. So, you know, I'm desperate to have him back, and desperate for him to keep fit as well. It's a shame that Chamberlain's had a setback, but you know, unfortunately, I don't know what happens at our club in terms of diagnosis of injuries, but this happens all too often when we think a player's coming back, and then, you know, we get a setback. You know, look what happened with Vermaelen, for example. At first it was a small injury, then by the time you know 12 months have passed, he's still not back in the team. Yeah, exactly.
And Diaby.
Our club does it more than anyone. I've never understood it, but you know, glad to have him back anyway.
And we've been watching this England game tonight, and Andros Townsend, Tottenham player, but he's on fire at the moment. Now, Theo as well, not going to be guaranteed a place in that England team, but will that help? Will that be a good thing? The fact that he's got a serious competition for his place now, that will make him play better for Arsenal.
Without a doubt, I'm going to be totally honest. I do think he's got a place in the squad. I do. I think you know, Hodgson knows that he'll.
But I mean, a starting place.
That's true. That's definitely true. So in that respect, you know, it's so important when you come to the latter end of the season and there's a World Cup, what form you bring into it, because then pressure on the manager to make the right calls and put the right team out. And with England, we're going through a bit of a transition phase, isn't it? A lot of people have got varied opinions about what team or what squad we should be taking there. You know, a lot of people are saying this World Cup's a write-off, we're not going to win it, let's talk about youth and blood some of them. So I think there's a lot of players, and Hodgson has kind of stepped up in terms of calling up Southampton players, for example. And I think players believe that if they are taken in good form, they can get into the team. So yeah, there'll be big competition. So hopefully he can stay fit, and it should spur him on. It should give him that extra incentive to really push and you know, really contribute to our season, so we can get in the starting lineup.
Now let's look at some of these games, right? Southampton, who are going third in the table.
Yeah.
We've got Everton at home. We've got Cardiff away. Yeah. We've got Manchester City, as I said. We've got away. Chelsea. We've got West Ham. We've got Newcastle. All of those games before Christmas, as well as Napoli and Marseille. Now, no easy games in there. Yeah. Now, if we were to get through those games, and I'm not saying we're going to win all those games, we may suffer a couple of defeats on the way or draws or whatever, but say we get through that period unscathed and we get through to Christmas and we're still in that, say, top 1, 2, 3.
You're making me dream.
Do you think that we would definitely be able to push on and win the title?
This is, like, I personally can't stress enough, in my opinion, this is the absolute key to our season. This period from now until the transfer window is absolutely key. Because it is all about our squad, and as I've said, it's about lady luck now with injuries and all that sort of stuff. When players are playing, you know, 3 games in 8 days, that's when the injuries come, and that's when they, you know, might not perform to their best, when they're not fresh. If we can get through that period and, you know, continue in the vein of form that we've been on, then that's when I think everyone will start to believe. That's when, you know, some of the pundits that have been talking a bit of crap, they'll start feeling a bit silly. Not that I care about what they say, to be honest with you, but, you know, I think if we get through this period, then, you know, I think it will be infectious. You know, people will start looking at the league table come the new year, and people will start fancying it, you know, thinking about that winners medal and all that sort of stuff. it's hard not to get carried away. It's hard not to start dreaming. But this, if we get through this phase, then I'm really going to be very, very hopeful.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you is this, Mo. Right now, if we get through to that period and we're still hanging in there.
Yeah.
We're still near the top. We may not be top of the league, but we're still just a couple of points off, a few points off, hovering around the top. Do we go big in January? Do we go out there and get like a Lewandowski?
Absolutely.
Do we get a Benzema? These kind of caliber of players.
Before that, I think the one thing we need to do is get Bentner out. We know that he's a failure. I hate seeing him come on, to be honest with you, because even when he does come on and is
you're being a bit harsh.
No, not at all, man. he talks a lot of crap in the media, and I'm sick of him. I don't want to see him wear an Arsenal shirt because he said himself he doesn't want to wear an Arsenal shirt. I'd rather have like the.
You sure he said that, or was that media?
No, he did. He did. I'll.
Because I know there are a lot of things are said about Ben. I think sometimes they're a bit
I'll
unfair.
tweet you his quote where he said, "If it's up to me, I won't play in an Arsenal shirt again." I'll tweet you that quote.
But that was before the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before the season, but he shouldn't be saying that. And the fact that he's come back and he's got a second chance, he should be playing out of his skin. He really should to make it up, and I think Arsenal fans have been very forgiving to him. I personally think that just cut our losses with him, just drop him, just write him off, and we have to sign someone, but I'd rather see people like Akpom getting a run in the starting lineup rather than Bentner. But in terms of who we need to sign, I think we need to show ambition and continue from the Ozil deal and say that look, we want to be competing, we want to be a European super club, and with Lewandowski coming out of contract in next summer, we can offer him terms this transfer window, and we absolutely have to.
I mean, basically, he can sign Lewandowski. He can sign a pre-contract deal in January.
Exactly.
So we got if we are to move on a player of that caliber, I mean, they've got to be moving on that right now, haven't they?
Exactly, yeah. I hope the work is going on behind the scenes and they're figuring out how much they're going to offer him and all that, because an offer has to go. You have to ask yourself, if someone like Lewandowski is becoming available on a free and you don't consider yourself able to get him, where's your ambition? And this is what I thought David Dean brought to the club that we've been lacking. I want to see that level of, I want to see that sort of masterstroke pulled off. What with the Ozil deal, I think that was a bit of consequences and a bit of fortune for us the way we got him. That was more down to Daniel Levy, so thanks a lot, Daniel. But with this, we need to do it off our own back because there'll be other clubs competing for him. And apparently he's on 300k a week at Dortmund this year because they're keeping him sweet for the one season because he didn't go to Bayern last year. Let's tempt him. Let's put him a carrot and say we're top of the league. You're going to have a Premier League winners medal if you come to us. Join us in January. Join us next summer, or even we put in a table an actual proper offer for him in January of 15 million, or 20 million, whatever. Where Dortmund might think, right, fine, let's cash out on him.
What about Benzema? What about I did this video. I said five. I suggested five.
Yeah.
Benteke, maybe
Michu.
Villa, Michu, Suarez again.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we should just go out and try and break the bank for one of these players, or do we get a sort of up and coming?
No, none of that. There's Ezequiel Lavezzi as well, and there's Alexander Pato that we're being linked with as well. So look, there's 7 names we've discussed where there's a realistic chance that we can, go and put a bid on the table and offer. And I just think that if we're top of the table come January, Arsene Wenger can go to the board and say, look, we really can win the league here. Let's make sure of it, and let's go and get one of these.
Do you think they might have done their money with Ozil?
No, not at all. Because if you think back to the summer with Gazidis' ridiculous financial firepower statements, it was commonly known that we've got 70 million to spend. We've only spent 40 million of that, and we post a profit every year. So add another 6 months of a business that we've done, we should have more money to spend. We've at least got 28.6 million. So let's go out and spend that. I really think we have to do it. We've got high ticket prices and all that sort of stuff, and that kind of model should support us being able to add to the playing squad. So we need to go and do that, and we really can win this league. If we're top at the end of December, there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be showing that ambition and going and signing someone big.
Well, I'm going to leave it at that. There's daunting games, very daunting games coming up, but you're confident, as you said, that if we can get through to December and still be up there near, just a few points off, or still be top of the league, you're confident we can go all the way this season?
I really do. I think it is all about injuries, all about the squad, and if we get luck with injuries over this period where we've got so many games and so many days, then we can go and do it. As long as we don't slip up to crap mid-table teams like United, in future, then we'll be all right.
Don't say that. Then you'll start going on a run. I'll come back to you, Mo, in January actually, and we'll have another discussion. See how we got on throughout December. Hopefully, we'll be talking great things.
Yeah.
And looking forward to a good new year.
I'll write a letter to Gazidas about how to run a transfer window, and hopefully you'll
Well, you are the economist.
Well, I've got common sense.
Thanks very much, Mo. Arsenal Fan TV, check it out at Mo's house. We're gonna get back into some of that shisha you had.
Yeah, let's get this back on the go. See you later.